Welcome to the next guest live with Susan Finn. I'm delighted to have her on for this session, Digital Marketing as an Act of Service. Let me start by actually introducing Susan and giving you her bio. So Susan believes that every service-based professional has a gift to offer. She believes that marketing is an act of service to those who are currently searching for exactly what you offer. Susan has created the Rise Above Noise 5-pillar process, which offers heart-centered entrepreneurs a step-by-step guide to create a digital marketing strategy that saves time, attracts clients, and allows them to show up in their own integrity. So these days, Susan is focusing her efforts on helping her clients create their list growth strategy to build an email practice that feels generous while it attracts, nurtures, and converts subscribers. Her clients feel in control, having a system that allows them to create generous conversations at scale. They are building their know-like trust and growing their business with consistency. So welcome, Susan. Thank you so much for being here. Please do say hello and share your 5-pillar process, which sounds amazing.
Thank you for having me, Mahnaz. This is so great. We're so aligned in wanting to give our heart-centered, our service-based professionals the systems and the ways to show up that feel in service and that are going to change the world. I wanted to tell you a quick story about one of my first clients was, I'll call her Jamie. So Jamie was a parent coach, and she was amazing because she would bring into homes, into families, her skills, and she would work with parents that had challenging children to teach yoga or go out, touch the grass, or some meditation or dance or art or dance or whatever it was. And she was helping these parents and their children become just happier and more productive. And it occurred to me then when I was working with her, and she was aggressively humble. She didn't want to show up. She didn't want to feel pushy. She didn't want to send emails. She felt silly. She didn't want to push out there. And what occurred to me was, my goodness, if there was a parent out there who needed her, what she had to bring, and that they couldn't find her, they didn't know, they're waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, like they don't know. It's not like we have a village anymore with the elders to go to, right? We're searching other places to find the answers. And that's when it occurred to me that my job with my skills in all of this is to help people like Jamie make this place a better world. So you think about this little kid, and he's struggling, or he can't do the things, or he's acting out in school, and he gets these tools, and now he shows up more calmly. He knows how to self-calm. He knows how to get along better with his schoolmates, get along better with his siblings. He's sleeping better. He's eating better. And the parents are happier. And then this small child grows and then is in high school and college and is taking those tools that he learned from Jamie along with him. And now he becomes a better employee, a better student, a better friend, a better employee. He finds a partner. He's a good partner. And he can now bring those skills to his own children and their children, right? So what Jamie did is a ripple effect.
Yeah.
By coming in, right? And what would those parents have done if they couldn't have found her? Okay, there are other people out there, but Jamie knew that she could bring those holistic services into this life. And so when I say that digital marketing is an act of service, that's exactly what I mean, is creating those ripples. And so you and I were talking earlier about how so often when we talk about digital marketing or email marketing, there's when I talk to people, I see a physical, like a physical, either they're afraid of the tech, or it feels silly, or it feels pushy. And so what I want to focus on in our time together is a shift. It's a mindset shift. I want to talk about how marketing is truly just a vehicle so that people can find you. You've always got to be in your head thinking about, how can I help these people? How can I, somebody's waking up in the middle of the night, how can I be a resource for them?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and just show you a 5-step process, because right, we like processes. You like processes. I know that, Mahnaz.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
go ahead.
We like processes. We like to know where we're going. We need a GPS. Oh, I'm on the wrong slide, but you guys can see this. So digital marketing's all these things, and we know that you cannot do great website, great search optimization, social media, all the things. You can't do all of them well. And so you need to really be focused and have a strategy to preserve your time and your energy in showing up. So in the rise above noise process, what you've got to focus on first is digging into your core values, figuring out who your ideal clients are and what their struggles are, right? You're not solving them yet. You just want to know, what are they searching for? All of us are out there scrolling around, searching for something. What will your ideal person want to read? What would your ideal person want to learn about that makes them a little more interested in what you have to offer? What is the compelling content? This is where I'll be spending my time today, but I'll go through the rest of the processes with you, the steps, I should say. Proof of concept is telling your stories, like I just told you about Jamie. What are your case studies? What's the solutions that you provided, and how did people feel after that? So testimonials, case studies, and stories. This is where Mahnaz is going to help you out. You got to organize your time. You've got to schedule it. You've got to have the processes in place so that your time and energy are conserved so that you can make more of an impact in the world. This is where I spend most of my time, is helping my clients keep in touch, having a email list growth strategy, having a way to have a contact relationship system that keeps you in contact with the people that are meant to hear from you.
Yeah.
So one of the tips I'd like to give today, the main tip I'd like to give today, is on that second pillar, which is creating compelling content.
Okay. I love that, Susan. There's so much that you've said there that just resonates so heavily. And I think for businesses and wellness, the heart-centered entrepreneurs, it does really feel like marketing is heavy. It's difficult and it's hard. And I think I've shifted my perspective over the years, but I now that you were talking, there was a little light bulb moment going on in my head. So I'd love to share with you. I think initially I used to think marketing was a thing that I did. And now I feel, because my marketing is more aligned with me, and because it's more of that, I'm all about creating that feel-good business with feel-good marketing. Because you cannot have a feel-good business if all the components are not feel-good. And marketing is a huge one, because this is how somebody will even just get to be seeing you or your content. And it's shifted to being about who you're helping. And I think it's a subtle, but it's a huge shift in the way of we're helping them, and it's about them. It shouldn't be hard for us, because it's not about what did I do today, or sharing any crazy things. It's about where they are in their journey. And I think shifting that can feel like you've taken that burden off. Would you agree with that, Susan? What do you think?
1,000%, right? That's marketing as an act of service. I really believe that when you're seen, especially the people you work with, the people I work with, when they're seen, they have that opportunity to change the world. When you make a decision to show up on your own terms, within your own light, for the people who need you, you can do what you love full time and make money and make a difference while you're doing it, for sure.
Exactly. So go ahead, share your tips that you have for us.
So I'm going to share my number one tip, and then that'll kind of branch out a little bit. Here's your takeaway for today. Do this. Grab a pad of paper. Even if you're a digital person like I am, I'm going to say to you, grab a pad of paper, because, my friends, there's something about putting pen to paper that makes that connection in your brain. Get a pad of paper. I love those long yellow pads with the thing on the top. You can rip off the top and you get all those little nice little lines. Nothing more inspiring than an empty pad of paper. Now, set your timer. I'm sure Mahnaz would say something like, set your timer and start writing down every question you can think about the work that you do. Now, if you already have a website, you've done a lot of that work already. So just go in line by line by line. Don't answer them. Just write down every question. What's it like to work with you? For me, it would be like, what's a click-through rate? What's a open rate? What is a contact relationship management system like? What does it look like? What is an automation, right? Like all the questions about your business. When you think you're done, you're not done. Now go over maybe to a competitor's site, maybe over to your site, grab some more questions. You're still not done. Next time you're at dinner with friends or family, ask them, hey, do you really know what I do? Do you have any questions about what I do? And write those questions down now as well. You're going to end up with enough topics to cover in your content for a full year. And it's actually going to perpetuate, because you're going to still come up with more questions. And how you answer a question today is not necessarily how you would answer it next year. So you can cycle through them again.
Wow.
You will never run out of content. You will never sit down and go, oh, I don't want to be pushy. You're going to sit down and say, how can I share today? What can I share today? So when you have those questions already set, now you know what you're going to write about. So in organizing and scheduling yourself with Mahnaz, what you're going to do now is maybe you put some of those on a calendar. This week, I'm going to answer that question. This week, I'm going to answer this question. Now you have your roadmap. You were talking earlier with me about a bicycle map, like you stop and you look at the map and you figure out where you're going. This is your bicycle map. This is, taking this time now to plan the small steps that are going to get you where you need to go. All right, so you answer the questions. So now what? Where are you going to put those? Now, not everybody is going to have all those things I listed on that first slide. You're not going to, maybe you have a website, maybe you don't. Maybe you have social media, maybe you don't. Maybe you have a YouTube station like Mahnaz does, maybe you don't. But wherever you can plop your answer, answer it fully and plop it in some place, your main place. So for me, I'll tell you how I do it. For me, or with my clients more, because I have a little bit of a different system. For my clients, we decide what the content is. We post it as a blog, full-length blog, many parts to it. Often we're linking to perhaps other blogs within our site to make sure that people are staying on our site and learning more about us. Everything is so people learn more about us and have to get on the phone with us. So blog. So then we take the blog and we consolidate it a little bit so that it's not quite so wordy. And we will use it on this week's email that we're sending out. So then there's that. And so now what we're doing, we've answered a question, people are interested, we're giving them a little bit of a taste. And if they want to learn more, you link over to the blog and now they learn more. Now maybe you take that blog and you either record the whole thing for YouTube or you break it up into little digestible nuggets, videos or posts, and now you share it wherever you're sharing your social media. It still doesn't even stop there, because when you're strategic and working with a business coach such as Mahnaz, now you're going to say, that was a really great piece I put out there. Let's send it out again in 3 months. And now you're cycling through your content in a very generous way. You're answering the questions people have. They're so grateful to you for answering the question that they had. I will also say, not that this is not selling, but make sure that every single one of those steps has a call to action. Mm-hmm. It might be to get your free download and get them on your email list. Yay for that. It might also or get on a free call with you. Those are usually the 2 calls to action that my clients have.
Would you suggest to have one call to action? So if you had a blog, just the one call to action and decide which one, or would you give people an option? This is another.
That's a hard one. So if I wrote a blog and I had a button, because the button, people like to interact with the button, I would say the button would be, it's hard. It could be either way. It really could be either way. Decide. And maybe you switch them out. Yeah. I would, in your writing, let's say, okay, I have a freebie, how to use frequently asked questions is one of my freebies. And you'll put the link in there to my freebie. So my freebie is how to use frequently. So now if I'm going to write something about whatever, I might put a sentence in there that says, frequently asked questions are a really great way to create your content. And I would link to that freebie in the text.
Yeah. Yeah. So that the links don't overwhelm people, but they will get to the right one that's good for them, because people will be in different places in their journey and able to take a different action.
That's right.
Yeah.
They might not want to call yet. I'm very hesitant to call people. Yeah. I need to know so much about you. Donald Miller says it in an interesting way. He talks about it as, we're kind of just checking each other out, seeing if we even want to date, but then we can't get engaged right away, right? We really need to learn a lot more about each other. Yeah.
And if you're not really sure, which is again that hesitation of what should the call to action be, giving your freebie, your free resources, another blog or other free offerings that you have, that's never going to be a wrong, is it? That's always going to be helpful, because you're just helping somebody with more resources.
That's right. And if you have your systems set up, so somebody gets your freebie, and this is, in the course that I teach, which is create your automated email sequence, we learn that you have that lead generator, your freebie, then they get it. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to send them a scheduled email every 2 to 3 days. I have a template I use, if somebody doesn't already have one, of 5 emails over 10 to 14 days.
Yeah.
All of them are generous giving. Yeah. They have a call to action, get on a call with me, download this, but you're also introducing maybe other downloads that they can get. Now they're on now you can segment your list and feed them more information. Oh, they were interested in contact relationship management. Okay, so now they can get this freebie over here, and I feed them more information because they want to learn.
Yeah.
One of the things that I have heard people say, and so in our mindset talk now, I want to knock another thing out of our mindset. If I give everything in my emails, if I give everything on my blogs, nobody's going to have to hire me.
That's a huge one.
There is so much out there already. Do not worry. They need you, not the information.
Yeah. And what would you say? Because I know some people, the way they say about creating content is, give them the why, and make them understand why they need, and talk around the why, and then the how becomes your paid service. Is that, how do you relate to that?
That's exactly right. Right. So we're always thinking what's in it for them. I think you mentioned that. What's in it for them, or as my friend Nancy says, so what? So think, so what? You're going to write all this material, so what? So problem, solution, result. So you're going to talk about the problem. You might allude to the solution right? So I told you the story about Jamie and being a parent coach. And the problem was she didn't want to feel silly. And the result was that she felt generous. Now, the solution was that we worked through a marketing system together, right? And this, everything I've talked about just now was part of it. But the reality is we need somebody to be our guide.
Yes.
And that's my intent. And I know that's your intent too.
Yeah.
You can't run people's businesses. I can't run their business, but I can guide them so that they don't get lost on their bicycle ride.
Exactly. Oh, this bicycle comes back over and over again. I liked
it.
We have a map for our content creation. Now that's amazing. I love that exercise that you gave us. That's so powerful. And we think that we don't know enough or we don't have enough ideas, but we're not looking in the right place. And it kind of, if we're on our bike in the wrong destination, heading for the wrong place, then we're never going to get to what you're talking about. So this is so I love tying it back with a bike now. A running theme for today's session, I think. So yeah, we've covered that whole map of content creation, really creating almost like, I like to think of content creation as almost like you're building, or if you could by hand, building a tree or drawing a tree. And then you have the branches, and then each branch is going to keep segmenting, it keeps growing. But what I loved about that was the fact that, like you said, and I think you hit the nail on the head there, that when you then create these topics, your perception, your interpretation, your knowledge, your experience, everything is going to expand. So if 6 months later or 3 months later you went back, you would probably write something similar but different, because you are not that person anymore. You have changed, and all the experience that you've got, has got you somewhere else. So effectively, what you're saying is your topics don't become outdated when you really clarify what topic it is.
And you're going to continue to learn from your clients. And so you're going to have different stories to tell about each of them. People love stories. Oh, I'll just throw in there too, because it was part of it. When you do write your blogs or publish the bits of it places, whenever you can work in testimonial bits in there, short ones, right? Like 2 or 3 lines, people are looking for people just like them. So that'll help as well when you create.
Yeah. Oh, this has been amazing, Susan. Thank you so much. You've given so many nuggets, and I think just getting more clarity on how we can operate in a way that is aligned with us is so powerful. And then, like you said, it also gives us our energy back, because we're not spending it on the things that is draining us. We're instead, when we look at content, we look at potential, we look at opportunities, and we have that shift of mindset, that marketing, what is the purpose of marketing? And I go on about purpose in business and in terms of anything that you do. And with content creation, we need to really keep the purpose at the heart of what we are creating. I love all the tips that you've given. It's so great. I think it would be great to talk about something you touched on there, was that we create this content over and over again, and then we can do it in different ways. We could do it in like, as we evolve and we become more aligned with doing perhaps videos that we didn't do before, and then it becomes a different type of content. But one thing a lot of people, especially in the well-being sector, do maybe have a little bit of a hard time with is sharing the stories. And it's wonderful how you've brought story idea and the testimonials in. But where could you start? Like, if you were to do a story, what would be the bare minimal that somebody could do that would feel better for them? Because sometimes people think it's just you showing off that, and it really puts them off, thinking that they cannot share that. So what could they do there, Susan?
I like to focus on how my client felt about it. So I want to share, Nancy won't mind if I share her story. So Nancy wanted to create a monthly workshop. And she wanted it so that all she had to do was put the link up on her site and tell people about it, and everything else would go smoothly. And so we set up the form and the payment, and then all of the emails. It was 3 weeks. So each week had to be, here's the information you need for the workshop. Don't forget the workshop is tomorrow. The workshop starts in an hour. Here's a review of what we covered in the workshop. So 3 workshops each month. And so we created all of that automation for the entire year.
Mhm.
And she nearly cried with joy. So this is what I focus on. She had joy because her project had flow and ease, and she didn't have to worry about sending out those follow-up emails. She didn't have to worry about, did people understand how to get into the program, what they needed, what was the homework they needed to do before they showed up. So I focus on her joy. I focus on another client that I'm working with right now, same thing, quarterly webinar leads into a course, super easy.
Mhm.
Another one just finished. Oh my God, another one almost cried when we went through it. She had one of those quizzes, the try interact quiz.
Yeah.
And so there was 4 answers. And so for each of the answers, we created a 7-part automated sequence
Right.
that went out. And now when somebody signs up to take her quiz, it was a what's your color kind of quiz. They are learning and from her about color and the use of color and different things to do with color, depending on what their answers were. So she's very happy that now she can just go on and be brilliant and not have to worry about welcoming her subscribers.
Yeah, lovely. So what I'm getting is we need to look at the results. We need to get these results to speak. So whatever it is that your client says, we need to share that.
It's the so what, right? So what? So what we did that. What did that mean for that person? Not about you. We're the guide. We're not the hero, right?
Exactly. Thank you so much, Susan. Please do share with us how we can find out more about you and how we can follow you and find your resources that I know are amazing, and all the work that you do with email automation just sounds like a magical.
It's magical. It is when it works correctly. And, you have to test it out and make sure it all works. It's been great to be with you today, Mahnaz. It's always great to be with you. Thank you for asking. So my website is riseabovenoise.com. And I know that Mahnaz will put in the show notes, I have a page filled with freebies. So it's riseabovenoise.com/goodies. And I would invite anybody to join my Facebook group, which is Rise Above Noise, Digital Marketing for Entrepreneurs. We'll put the link in there for you. I should probably know that.
Put the link in, that's fine.
And where we're having conversations and supporting each other.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom, Susan. It's been a complete pleasure and I've learned so much, and I hope this is going to be helpful for so many other entrepreneurs who are on this journey, and it is all about supporting each other. So this is just an amazing video that hopefully many, many more people will be able to benefit from. Thank you for your time, Susan.
Thank you, Mahnaz.